everybody. Welcome. It's my last time to jam out,
Oh,
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode. This is our final episode of season 7 for Chamber Chat with the TriCounty Area Chamber of Commerce. My name is Bill Vitiello. I'm the Director of Institutional Relationships and Marketing at the Victory Bank in Limerick, and I am joined by two fine individuals today. Drew Griffin from Delicious Marketing and Eileen, the president of the Chamber. Howdy.
hello. How
Hello.
are we?
Good. How are we?
We are sad. Very sad.
Yeah.
No sadness.
When you sent me that email this morning, I honestly did not know today was the last episode.
It is.
I was like, what? I looked at my calendar. I'm like, oh yeah, she's right. She's right. So for those who don't know, Drew Griffin, who has been so instrumental in really taking this podcast idea that I had to the next level, will be leaving us. He brought along the video component of this, which I think really helped propel the views and help propel the just the community feeling that we should be involved with this and we should share our message. And this is a great benefit of the chamber. And for me, this is my last episode as host, although I hope you would have me back at some point.
Would you like to be a guest?
I could be a guest. Yeah. For me, with my increased responsibilities over at the Victory Bank, it is difficult for me to commit to this time frame on a weekly basis, twice a week. Sometimes even more, but it's all good. Like I'm not saying like I gotta get the hell out of here, sort of thing. It's just simple.
Well,
math.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's just simple math. And there's Lauren. We'll miss your faces. Thanks and congratulations. Lauren just got married.
Yes.
So
Congratulations, Lauren.
See, this is what you get with Chamber Chat. You get a chance to know your community, right? So I just wanted to thank you all for just a wonderful experience, and so proud to call you all constituents and friends as well. So, Drew, how about you?
Bill, it's been a privilege to work alongside the both of you here, and of course the amazing work that the chamber does each and every single day. And clearly today's guest that you've got here coming on after my departure is awesome. I can't wait to hear more about them and the good work that they're doing inside their community, and of course all the students that they've got, the amazing programs that they've got. It's truly a staple inside the community, and I'd love to hear from them very shortly. But my parting words really is I wanted to personally and professionally thank the both of you. Bill, I learned a ton from you. You've been a mainstay on Chamber Chat. You brought this idea to the chamber. The chamber should be applauded and lauded for their amazing acceptance of emerging technology and giving guests the voice that they desperately and deservedly need inside this community and all the other communities that we're reaching. So again, Eileen, hats off to you. I'm not going to take my hat off because then you would be kind of surrounded by two bald guys. But yeah, congratulations. The amazing work that you guys do continuously at the chamber, your amazing staff, and handing the reins over to some capable and competent people behind the scenes. You got Haley, who's going to be running the show here, and potentially future host as well of Chamber Chat. So again, thank you for the opportunity to share behind the scenes type of work, and I can't wait to see what Chamber Chat season 8 is going to bring about.
So I do want people to realize this isn't the end of Chamber Chat. It is the end of a definite phase of Chamber Chat. It's bittersweet, but there is more to come. So please stay tuned. We're working behind the scenes. We did a survey. We have some people who are interested in hosting. We've all commented, they did as well, that, Bill's shoes are hard to fill, but they have an interest in supporting the program just like the two of you did. So we're looking forward. We're actually investigating some other partnership opportunities, so it's not going away. It may change format a little bit. It may have additional formats added to it. Beyond what people are hearing here, Bill and Drew have sat down with Haley and I, and we've had some conversations on what could be next steps for Chamber Chat. So, like Bill mentioned, we went from a podcast, being recorded in the chamber office to then releasing the podcast shows, but also showing them on Facebook Live, as they were being recorded. And now here we are, no thanks to COVID, but, having this great opportunity for people to be where they are and still be a guest through StreamYard. So I don't want to take up too much time. You've got a full slate of speakers for today's show, but I just wanted to come on and just one more time, say thank you. I can't thank the two of you enough. I will continue to thank you over and over as we move into our next phase. And again, Drew, I know you've got great things going on, in developing your company. So love to have you back as a guest, and talk about those things. We've always talked about you behind the scenes. Haven't really promoted what you have as some really cool tools for small businesses, in this region. And Bill, Victory just opened up a new spot. You're continuing to grow. So, I know this will not be the last, our audience will see of either of you, but thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course. Anytime, Eileen. And I'll let you guys get on with the today's show. This is what this is all about.
That's
and again,
right.
Thanks, Eileen. I'll be talking to you real soon. Bill, we'll have to get out relatively soon. But again, thanks for your co-partnership here. It's been awesome.
Absolutely. And I can't thank you guys enough. So thank you once again.
Enjoy the show, everybody.
Thank you. And also thank you to Haley. Haley has really she's like slipped right into this role. Like there was no, like she's putting up graphics and doing all kinds of things. I was going to throw her off today by saying a whole bunch of crazy stuff and see if she can do it, but I won't do it. And you're right. We are going out with style today with our next guests. We're actually going to have 3. When I say guests, I mean plural. So we have 3. No better way for a host to go out than try to manage 3 interviews.
There you go.
Here we go.
Good luck.
No, it's going to be all good. But for those who are viewing, just have to be patient with me. I'm going to be going back and forth to some screens because I don't want to mispronounce anybody's titles or anybody's names wrong. So bear with me. So Haley, if you'd be kind enough to bring up today's guests. Bye, Eileen. Bye, Drew. All right, we're bringing everybody in. So these fine folks are from Alvernia University. So first I'm going to introduce Dana Baker. Dana is the Executive Director of Regional Campuses at Alvernia University. Dana, would you like to wave hello, please?
Hello.
Next, I'm going to introduce Paul Slegowski. Paul is the Admissions Field Recruiter for Graduate and Adult Education at Alvernia. So welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. And lastly, Don Schalk. Don is the Director of Business and Corporate Development at Alvernia University. So welcome, Paul. You might be on, Don, you might be on mute there. So welcome, everybody. You're going to be our last guest for season 7. I know we're excited to have you. We're excited to learn a little bit more about Alvernia. So let me start with you, Dana, if you don't mind. Introduce again yourself, what your role is at the university, and tell us a little bit about Alvernia, please.
Great. Okay, so my name is Dana Baker, and I am the Executive Director for our regional campuses. And essentially, my role is to lead the efforts in helping to meet the goals of Alvernia's strategic plan overall, but focusing on the recruitment and retention of our graduate programs and our adult undergraduate and professional programs. So I work with these fine individuals here and others throughout the university to collaborate across all units of the university so that we can build and foster partnerships that are mutually beneficial both to our students and to our community, so that we're meeting both the needs of higher education and that for our region.
That's great. And I know, Paul, you work pretty closely with Dana. So could you describe what your role is with Alvernia, please?
Sure. I'm an admissions field recruiter. My office is at our main campus, which is in Reading, but I also work with our Philadelphia campus and our Schuylkill campus, which is in Pottsville. And essentially, I'm the first point of contact for prospective students. So I do a lot of outreach, whether it's college fairs or graduate school fairs, or this week we had an event with PICO employees, just giving them information on our programs, whether it's going to different high schools that we may have a partnership with and talking to their teachers. Maybe they want to get a master's or a PhD, going to community colleges in southeastern Pennsylvania and talking to their students about possibly coming to Alvernia to get a bachelor's degree. All kinds of community outreach, even going to sporting events, things like the Reading Fight and Phils, the Reading Royals, and just setting up information tables and trying to communicate to people some of the programs that we offer and just give them some of the basic information to hopefully get them interested in Alvernia.
And this is why I love this platform, because I had no idea you guys had multiple campuses. Like, I'm just thinking Alvernia University, but here you have campuses, and you're up in, you said, in Schuylkill and down by Philadelphia there. So we're going to get back to that in just a moment. But Don, can I go to you? Can you describe your role with Alvernia a little bit, please?
Yeah, I work, Bill, in the Opaque Institute. And if you've been following the news, certainly we put a brand new facility in actually downtown Reading called College Town. And the Opaque Institute was endowed by the late Senator Mike Opaque. And what our role is entrepreneurship and economic development. In the Opaque Institute, we help startups. We have a business incubator. We have a tech transfer office. So if someone comes to us with a new product, we research it for them and connect them to register that patent. We have a financial services arm that does microloans to startup companies. And also we have a group of fellows, our best and brightest students that actually do work and projects for organizations. We have actually done work for the Chamber, and helping them with some of their social media work. But we have a thing called Project 6, and I'm a retired executive. When I was in business, we always had those 4 or 5 things you had to do, but then there was that 5th or 6th one you'd say, we really should do that, but we don't have anybody to do it. Companies come to us, our students actually do that for them. We pay the student to do it, so they actually get a very good opportunity to learn in the workforce. A lot of these students, when they graduate, we hope to keep them in the region, and we have been able to do that over the last year. But it's a lot of fun for me, and certainly a great resource. In the last 18 months, we've worked with over 120 companies in the region, doing work for them.
That's fantastic. And I think, just to reiterate what you were saying there, to keep these folks who have this creative potential in our community is only going to make our community so much better. It's a very interesting model that you guys have up there. I know there's not a lot of schools out there that would support something like the incubator. So good for you. Don, I'm going to shift just slightly here to Dana and Paul. If you guys wouldn't mind talking about the adult and graduate school. I know, look, COVID kind of threw everybody off their normal path, and I'm sure you have some examples of folks that might have revisited their education. But Dana, I'll start with you. Can you describe the school for me?
Sure. We offer adult programs for degree completion and for bachelor degrees, as well as graduate programs and PhD programs. As we mentioned earlier, we do have 3 locations. So we have our main campus is in Reading. We have satellite campuses in Pottsville. And as Don mentioned, we are moving forward with a college town initiative there in Pottsville as well. And then we have a satellite campus in Philadelphia and online programs. So especially given, the effects of COVID, but even prior to COVID, we understand that this, depending on where people are in their professional careers and with life being as hectic and as busy as it is, our goal is to deliver convenient and flexible programs for advancement, reskilling, upskilling. So we offer both non-credit and for-credit programs that help adult learners do all of that, in addition to our traditional residential programs that we offer to the community and to the state too.
And then, Paul, I know you guys, you work with professional certificates and customized corporate trainings. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Dana has really done a lot of that work, but she mentioned flexibility. So I just want to focus on that for a second, because it's so important with graduate and adult education, because as kind of the first point of contact, I hear amazing stories, and people are very busy and they have a lot going on in their lives. And sometimes they're hesitant about enrolling in a program. I'll just give you one quick story. And this just happened last week. I met a student at the Philadelphia campus. His name is Driss. He's from Morocco. His family still lives in Morocco. He's the sole provider for his family. He works 2 full-time jobs, and he's taking classes at our Philadelphia campus for criminal justice administration. He's almost done with his bachelor's, and his next goal is to get his master's degree. So it's really important that adults understand, you could have a family, kids, full-time job, but the flexibility that we offer with evening classes, some maybe at 5:30 or 8 o'clock, rolling admission. So you could start, in the fall, in the spring, in the summer. We use modules. So they're 7 weeks accelerated time periods to get extra courses done if you like, or if you're extremely busy, maybe you want to just go part-time as opposed to full-time. But Alvernia really has been a leader in adult education. We've been doing it since 1985, so over 35 years, which I think is rare for schools in this area. But it's neat when you get to hear stories like Driss and others who have so much going on, but they still have the time to, advance themselves and get that bachelor's degree, or get a master's degree, or a PhD. And you also get individualized attention. We're a smaller university. There's a total of about 2,600 students. So student to faculty ratio is about 13-1. And with some of the adult education and grad programs, it might even be less than that. So you'll know your professors, they'll know you. They're very friendly as far as, getting back to you. And if it's a Zoom or if it's an email, the communication line is really good. And I think that comes with the Franciscan values that we talk a lot about here at Alvernia. It's not just, giving that degree on a piece of paper. It's, what type of individual are we developing, ethics, morals, and things like that. But flexibility is real important when you talk about graduate and adult education.
So now, Paul, somebody who might be watching this, you might be piquing some interest here and saying, maybe I should continue my education, or go back to school and learn a new skill set. Dana, let me ask you this question: if somebody is watching this,
Mm-hmm.
what's the easiest way to start having a conversation with somebody? Some folks might not know where to begin
Sure.
to engage with you folks, or to even engage about this process, or what it looks like, or what they should go for, sort of thing. Can you kind of describe what next steps might be?
Sure. So, lucky enough, we have the main person that they would want to connect with being Paul, but they can reach out by phone or stop in. We have an email address that is just very easy in terms of grad and adult at alvernia.edu. And what we will do is they'll meet with somebody in whatever preferred, so virtually or in person, and talk a little bit about where they are. So especially right now, we know that what we've heard is that there's varying needs. So there's individuals who might be looking for add-on specific type of training or certificate, or looking to complete a degree or earn an advanced degree. And so we'll talk with those individuals about where they currently are, what their background is, and what their professional goals are. And then what is really the best pathway to get where they're going. And so that may be just a certificate and not a full degree. It may be that they're a career transitioner and now they're looking to upskill or change what they need. And so they'll work with individuals like Paul or myself or our other enrollment coordinators to determine what major or program is best for them. And then in what delivery format as well, so that we can kind of create their overall professional and academic growth and plan for them. So that's really, they'll get that individualized attention. But the first step is really to reach out to one of us, or if it's through some of the partners with the chamber, in having information sessions that might open up some opportunities right there on site. For those that have questions, we're happy to do information sessions within each organization as well.
And that's a great background and a great recommendation. I appreciate kind of breaking that out for folks, because I think there's, sometimes there's that paralysis that, they don't want to pick up the phone, or are hesitant to send an email or just even start to engage in that process. So I'm glad you folks are very welcoming. Don, if you don't mind, I want to go to you. I know workforce development is a huge part of what you guys do. Can you describe how you keep our region workforce qualified, please?
Well, as Dana and Paul have talked about, we do professional development training programs. We offer certificate programs, in the areas of leadership, cybersecurity, project management, and Alvernia is launching this spring a group of over 30 certificate programs that people can work at. A lot of folks, Bill, at this point in time may not be looking for a degree, but with technology and the way business has changed as a result of COVID, which I think pushed us about 5 years ahead technology-wise, they're looking to upgrade those skills. And certainly we have programs that can do that. We also have gone to locations and actually done professional development training on site for them. We offer professional development programs as well throughout the year. So that's how we work at it. And certainly, as Dana and Paul have talked, there's a lot of opportunity for professional development. As you hear, you hear about the Great Resignation right now. People thinking that they want to change careers based upon, how they've reflected on what's occurred with COVID. And certainly, I think we're a great resource to help them do that and, launch a new career or create an area of skill set that they currently don't have.
So if I'm a local company and I maybe want to engage Alvernia, and I want to, train my workforce on leadership, who pays for that? Do I pay for it as a business owner, or how does that work?
Yes, you would pay for it as a business owner. If you had, for example, a cohort of 8 or 10 people, we could come on site. We would work with you to do it, at what I believe at a very fair value. Part of our mission at Alvernia is developing leaders with moral courage, and we're very anxious to do that again, because if we can do that, for example, your company, and help you grow, that helps us. Again, where I'm at in the Opaque Institute, economic development is very important for us. We're an anchor institution. We're not moving. So we're only as good as the market that's around us, the health of the business, the quality of the workforce. If someone wants to come here, what's the first question they're going to ask? What's the quality of the workforce? And I think we play a major role in that and see that as a very important part of our mission.
Thank you. And I guess I'll, maybe I'll move over to Paul for this question here. I know a lot of companies they either have gone remote or have done some sort of hybrid thing. How do companies continue to engage in meaningful, direct ways with their workforce regarding like culture, connection, continuous learning? How can companies do that?
Well, I think you can still use the technology to have meetings. I mean, that's one nice thing about Zoom, which I wish I would have invested in before the pandemic started. But now there are, different ways. Like we still have meetings, whether it's Zoom or Teams, so you can still engage. Personally, I'm a people person, so I enjoy the events that are in person. October is a very busy month for me as far as college fairs and graduate school fairs. And it was probably about 50-50 or maybe even more slanted towards virtual now. I still like to go to the different universities, see someone, be able to, just catch their eye, show them the different programs, really get to talk to them more. I think the virtual platform, it's tricky as far as trying to get student engagement. One thing that I talk about with a lot of different admissions recruiters all across the state is how do we get the students to engage more? It's a difficult proposition right now. I would still encourage companies to have face-to-face interaction or meetings if possible. I think there are certainly ways to do that. And it just seems to boost morale when you can, talk to people and interact with them a little bit more than just a certain time frame on Zoom or, scheduling events outside of the workplace, I think is a great idea. I talked about sporting events earlier, but there are all kinds of different activities, team building activities that I think employers should look into to boost morale and just get to know people outside of just the typical 9-to-5 environment.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on that, Bill, because I do through the university consulting with companies in areas, and the area that you talk about gets into leadership, and the leadership principles have been the same till from the beginning of time, but with what's happened with remote workers, I think the leadership changes in context, and the context has changed. And what happens is to maintain that culture is the leader and the management team needs to be more empathetic to people working remotely, not just talking about the job, but how are they doing? Because they may have kids at home. They're juggling a lot of different things. And those are the kinds of things that, right now we're teaching in the leadership area is that the business model changed on March of 2020. So how I lead people in the context in which they lead has changed. And I think they have to recognize that. And I think one of the problems with people leaving and quitting right now is the fact that some organizations and management and leaders have not recognized that.
Can't agree with you more there. There's a lot happening right now. Employees have a lot of leverage, and we're just in an uncharted territory, as they say. And thank you, COVID. But we're coming up on the final moments here, so I guess Dana, we'll throw it back to you. Is there anything else you'd like us to know about Alvernia University, please?
I think what we've talked about sums it up is that we are very committed to our region in making sure that we're working to establish next generation of leaders, reskill and upskill the workforce that we have so that our companies aren't forced to relocate for work. And so just really taking a look at where higher education meets industry, and that, you know, it's about advanced degrees, but it's also about the micro credentials and working to see how we are preparing and credentialing our current workforces as well. And I think Alvernia does a great job with that. And so we're here to partner and look at ways in which it's mutually beneficial to improve the overall community and economic well-being for everybody.
Well, thank you for that. And it's been a pleasure to learn a little bit more about Alvernia. Again, a university that I did not know a whole lot about, but definitely know more about now. And I hope folks would reach out to you. I know Haley's going to be diligent and put your contact information in the show notes so folks can reach out for whatever reason. Maybe it's
Great.
for one of your programs. Maybe it's just connect with you on leadership or something on the Opaque Institute's on. So hopefully they do reach out, and this was meaningful for everybody. But Dana, Paul, and Don, thank you so much. If you guys want to hold on for just a moment while we end the episode here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
You're welcome. Happy Thanksgiving. So everybody, this is my last episode. Thank you so much for allowing me for you to listen to my voice through the podcast and to look at my face during the Facebook Lives through the StreamYard here. So until we connect again, and we will, all my best. Bye for now.